Okay, welcome everybody to the launch party for CVX USD and xCVX on Protocol FX. This is your A team members and core contributors as well joining us today. Very exciting today, very cool launch. Yeah, thanks guys for hopping on and talking us through everything there is to know about CVX USD. Hopefully, hopefully you guys are feeling a little bit relaxed now that everything's kind of completed with the launch.
Yeah, it was a
What
tense moment in the beginning, right? It was really good though. Went so fast.
Yeah, it's been impressive.
Yeah.
it's always been really cool to see the products launch on FX and to see how they get adopted. This I would argue is probably I guess our first vault that's sort of like kind of a grassroots sort of vault, from the community to kind of like adopt it. Everything else has been very much sort of very sort of strategic to, enhancing sort of FXUSD or ARUSD, real the core stablecoin products and the associated X products. So like can you guys let's go ahead and maybe kind of like walk through what did Protocol FX do today? So CryptoVestor, you want to kind of give us a rundown since you're our
Yeah.
CVX5 guy?
Sure. I mean, with today's launch with cvxUSD and xCVX, you basically have the opportunity to get the yield that CVX offers, the staking yield, and remain stable on the cvxUSD side. And then if you want to take a more risky approach, you can get up to 3x leverage with the xCVX token. And I think it's really interesting because, like you said, this is like a grassroots sort of a product. It's a niche product. I don't think it's certainly not as large as an Ethereum product or anything like that. But I think it has use cases because other protocols can use this type of a building block and apply it to their protocols too, to be able to earn for the first time, remain completely stable and earn the CVX staking yield. That's pretty impressive. That's pretty novel.
Yeah, I think I think I obviously sort of the intersection of convex curve and have always been sort of like integral to the entire ecosystem of Aladdin since the beginning. Obviously, with Concentrator, building its vaults on top of convex and also Stake DAO as well,
Yeah.
which has been very successful. But then also you have Clever as well, which is now almost the largest holder of VLCVX in DeFi. So this has always been sort of a sort of a you run, I run, we're all in this kind of a together sort of a thing. And obviously with FX being sort of one of the liquid lockers from Convex as well. So this just kind of just deepens the relationship even more. So it's really cool. So I guess for users, like, I mean, is there any trick to minting either CVX USD or xCVX? Is it just as simple as depositing CVX?
Yeah.
I think it's as simple as any other pairs, but I think it's important for users to understand that if they want to harness yield, they may not want to deposit CVX because they will lose CVX exposure when going to CVX USD. So basically, CVX USD is a USD farming strategy that harnesses staked CVX yield. And the very interesting part of this new pair is that all the previous pairs we built had a very way lower underlying yield. For instance, FXUSD is harnessing staked ETH yield, which is about 3% APY. But that's an old one. But CVX USD is harnessing a CVX yield, which is 9% APY, so three times more. So stable CVX USD stakers can expect a pretty decent stable yield, which is going to be basically real yield. So that's the very interesting part. So they can basically mints cvxUSD from any stable, USDT, USDC, or whatever. They can also do it from CVX, but they will lose CVX exposure. It's very important to understand that from FX protocol's design. It's basically swapping CVX for a stable coin. So then it's more targeting stablecoin.
Yeah, it's
farmers.
a farming opportunity. A farming opportunity.
Yeah, that's a farming opportunity. Exactly.
Yeah.
But CVX holders may want to mint xCVX instead. So they may lose this 9% yield if they're actually staking their CVX. But if they're just interested in CVX price exposure, they may want to mint xCVX to get leverage on the price exposure without facing liquidation nor paying any funding. So there's a small minting fee, and then that's all.
And one more thing we should probably note is that the people who mint the xCVX token, they're giving up their staking yield, and that part of that yield goes to the stability pool. So that enhances the CVX staking yield on the cvxUSD side. So really, really cool product. It's definitely, I definitely can see this really being popular, especially for people who wanted exposure to the CVX yield, but didn't necessarily want price exposure. Or on the flip side, if they really want more price exposure, they can use the leverage from the xCVX token.
And I think that the inception of this pair was came from the community itself.
Yeah.
Like I felt like on Discord, many users were asking for this, especially for this xCVX, since the CVX price action seemed to. I mean, most people saw a bottom, or in a way, I guess.
Definitely risk off here at this point. So the amount that it can go down here at this point is really low. So any exposure to xCVX is probably towards the upside at these levels. So yeah, I agree with that. That makes sense.
I think it really sort of speaks to, FX protocol in general, is just the fact that this pair, cvxUSD and xCVX, it allows you to sort of modulate your exposure, right, to convex. And I've always kind of had this viewpoint in my head that's sort of like what FX sort of, its killer use case is. It allows you to sort of modulate your exposure to things like ETH or BTC or EtherFi ETH or what have you. And this is just sort of another one. I tend to call it like a boutique sort of a vault, and so I think CVX is certainly like I said, it's so ingrained in the community and part of DeFi now on mainnet that it's a large part of it, that it'll be interesting to see sort of how users do wind up utilizing the vault in terms of their CVX modulated exposure, because as like with any other sort of vault that we have, as times get bullish and people ape into the xCVX side.
Is it me or
what's that, Cyril?
What happened?
No, sorry, I lost connection. It's from me.
Yeah, so as people kind of ape into xCVX when it's at its most bullish, that will inherently drive the leverage down. But on the other side of that is the stable yields go up, right? Because of the backing collateral yields go directly to the stables, and so encouraging people to mint the cvxUSD. So it kind of just plays into sort of that good old f of x invariant that we've had, and I think it's going to be really interesting to follow this vault as the bull market continues. Pray to God we're in a bull market, but and just kind of see like how the modulation between the two continues, because I think for a lot of CVX maxis, they look at this as just sort of a way to sort of like amplify their position regardless, whether they do want it or don't want it. But I think if you don't want the price exposure, you can still obtain that that CVX from the cvxUSD, the staked stuff. So,
And I think there's also something to point out, which could be very attractive to these CVX maxis you've been talking about. And it's right there under our nose on the page. It's earn FX points, because FX points is the only opportunity to earn yield on top of leverage, on top of holding liquidation-free leverage tokens, because the holding and minting and holding an X token on FX is eligible to FX points. So users may want to either create a referral code and share it to onboard other users and earn from the other users' TVL, but they may also want to add a ref code to their own account. So by simply holding xCVX, not only will they get leverage exposure to CVX price action without facing liquidations, but also will they earn FX points, which are actually yields. Basically, last epoch, FX points, just having a ref code was giving something like 6 or 7% APY on top of the actual yield. So imagine you can still get like 6 or 7% APY by holding a free leverage token, basically, on CVX.
Yeah,
that's very cool. Yeah.
One more thing too is, we don't talk about it much, but the fact that this is also creating another supply sink for CVX, and there's only so much CVX to go around. There's only like 2 million CVX in the curve pool. This is one of the most illiquid FX invariant pairs that we've made, and so it's kind of going to be interesting to watch this go. But the more CVX that gets staked in this, and right here in this platform, I mean, the less access there is to, so it should have a price impact eventually, and then that will also drive more leverage up. So it sort of goes with the whole flywheel narrative that we all know and love from the Curve ecosystem. So it's going to be interesting to watch this. I think it's just a really novel product, and this is kind of a framework that we could use for other yield-bearing tokens in the future, especially if they have enough liquidity.
Yeah, it's important that now that you talk about liquidity to point out the price impact risk as well, especially for users coming from a stablecoin, because swapping from a stablecoin to cvxUSD is basically swapping from a stablecoin to another stablecoin, and so you keep USD exposure, but in the back end, the protocol will buy CVX. Maybe you lost. It says I lost connection. Can you still hear me?
Yeah,
yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. So in the backend, the protocol will buy CVX to mint cvxUSD. So basically, users can face price impact of, let's say, USDC buying CVX. So in a way, for CVX maximalists, it's awesome because we deliver a crazy USD yield with that strategy, which will drive CVX price up, basically. But from a stable staker's point of view, you have to be careful of slippage when you mint. So you may want to mint progressively and not mint like millions at a time, at least for now. Just take care of slippage when you mint cvxUSD.
Yeah. And that's a good. Let's show the stability pool yields right now.
The yield should cover it pretty quickly, but just
we're still at 500% for the stability pools. You have half of the people wanting to go into xCVX, which is the leveraged. So are both of these? That's something I wasn't sure of. Are both of these going? No, one of them goes to xCVX and one of them goes to xCVX, right?
Yeah. So for folks that are wondering what xCVX is, that is the auto compounding CVX, staked CVX from concentrators. So really cool. It's a yield bearing token. Just like you would have with your staked ETH, and so it's just a compounds to an index, and so it operates just like any other concentrator vault, like ARUSD.
Right.
and then the xCVX one there as well below it. So really cool. It's always interesting to see sort of like which ones people go into. I think one of the things that we've sort of like observed in the past is that DeFi, the tolerance for risk in DeFi is off the charts. And so people really like to buy the dip. And so you see here, even the yields here for xCVX are a little bit lower just because the TVL is a little bit higher. So some folks have already decided to put their cvxUSD to work getting that. So it's going to be really cool to, like you said, CryptoVestor, to see how this kind of like blossoms and see how people kind of adopt it and sort of see how these APRs kind of like wind up in the future in terms of what people's risk appetite is. And I'm interested to see like how often they go into stability mode and come out of stability mode. It'll be all kind of a testament to see sort of like the robustness of the system in sort of these lower liquidity pairs. And so really it will be nice to kind of show that off a little bit, that like, hey,
Exactly.
this is what
It's a
happens.
really
And
good test for the system.
yeah.
And something else we should also mention for people who might be not sure or maybe worried about depositing here, we should mention that, the bottom line is that the CVX is, the underlying is staked with the convex staking contracts. So, if you're staked currently, then that's exactly where your convex would end up. It's not, obviously there's additional smart contract risk. So I'm not saying that doesn't exist, but it's not going somewhere different. It's all being staked with convex.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. DeFi advisor, what you thinking?
I wanted to ask you guys, I wrote earlier in the chat, just because like what you guys say is true, and like the CVX ecosystem is so dense, becoming so dense in a way. How does this product fit with another product that actually the ecosystem is kind of offering? And I'm talking about xCVX. So maybe if you guys can expand, like for whom is it better to go with xCVX and why, and with which assets you should come to maybe like these new vaults of cvxUSD and why? Like, what separates the kind of users? Who's going to use what and why, maybe?
Yeah, that's a good question. Well, xCVX is obviously split into two parts. So part of it gets locked and earns the vote incentives, 80% of which, and then the other 20% gets staked. So same as what's happening here with cvxUSD. The difference is you always have underlying exposure to the CVX price with xCVX. So if you're buying xCVX, CVX goes down, you're going down, it goes up, you're volatile with CVX. If you want to have the CVX staking yield but want to remain completely stable, say you put $10,000 in, you want $10,000 in, you want to be able to withdraw $10,000 out, plus your staking yield, that's what cvxUSD would be for. So if you have a large, if you're really interested in the farming opportunity with CVX and you don't want to have any price exposure, you would go with the cvxUSD. If you want, and then on the flip side, if you want additional price risk more than xCVX, 2x or 3x additional price risk, then you would choose the xCVX option. What I'm kind of curious about is I'm kind of curious how much of a trading vehicle this becomes. Like, are people going to trade in and out of xCVX or are they going to hold on, until CVX climbs up in price? It's going to be interesting to watch, as FX matures and develops other products that even fixed leverage products. So it'd be interesting to watch this vault closely.
Yeah, I think just to kind of like piggyback on that was a great description, by the way.
Thanks.
Just to kind of piggyback on that a little bit, DeFi advisor, like, xCVX is sort of a, you can almost look at it as like a leveraged yield play, whereas something like xCVX is a leveraged price play. And then cvxUSD obviously is like, zero price exposure, but you can just collect normal. Well, actually, it's like double the staking yield of what CVX is, depending on obviously, you know, the collateral distribution type.
Right.
But you know, the funny thing is like, you know, as we've seen with sort of some of these other vaults, is like, you know, other collaterals can be added as well, you know, to vaults like this. Like you know, it's not just completely limited to something like stake CVX. So in the future, you know, it's very possible that something like AF-CVX could, you know, be considered for this, you know, if the liquidity got large enough. So you know, there's lots of possibilities. They're not really competing products. I think they're for kind of different users that are looking for different things from their CVX exposure or lack thereof. And so it's just sort of like broadens the spectrum of you know, what the a CVX maximalist or curve maximalist is looking for in their portfolio. So yeah, I think, you know, it's sort of it's almost like complementary, I guess you could say, to AF-CVX.
Yeah, definitely. And imagine the stable yield it would get with AF-CVX as collateral. It would be just insane, because how much is the actual yield of AF-CVX at the moment? Something like 30 or 40%?
34%.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy.
So, and they're working on lending markets. So that's coming. So they're going to be able to, you're going to be able to loop that if there's enough liquidity. I know they've already talked about possibly doing something like that. So yeah, this is kind of crazy. And again, like I said, you know, just another place to park CVX, and it just shows how important it is, or the type of asset it is. The whole income producing asset, you know, that's pretty critical here. And so to answer a little bit more what the DeFi advisor was saying, you know, if you want a stable yield, you go with cvxUSD. If you want amplified CVX yield, you go with AF-CVX. And if you want amplified price exposure, you go with xCVX. So you have different options depending on what the market, you know, what the market's doing. If CVX is going up, I'm sure the leverage token will be popular and the cvxUSD yields will go up, and then that will just get more people to stake there because, you know, because of the higher yield. So yeah, it gives a full range of options on the CVX platform.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you summarize it very well, CryptoVestor.
Yeah, I deal with it all day long. So. Yeah,
you know, it would be cool to like have something like DeFi Saver, you know, cook up like some strategies for folks that were wanting to get like various different exposures or something like that, right?
It would be cool to see if like other
I am harassing them, basically. Harassing them. I've seen them in Belgrade. I've seen them in Brussels last week. I've texted them. I'm harassing them, basically.
Good.
I think FX is like, you know, would be like prime for something like DeFi Saver to sort of like integrate into their strategies for folks to automate.
I agree. Definitely agree.
Yeah, I'm curious to see if other protocols would use cvxUSD to remain stable and earn that yield in their products too as well. You know, someone like an AF-CVX or Asymmetry, they might use something like this. Or other protocols that just want to be able to harness the yield but don't necessarily want the price exposure.
Yeah,
I could see that being a big deal.
Yeah, it's interesting because it will be interesting to see. I mean, I know Aladdin is not going to be supporting it like in an LP or anything like that. Like it just exists as the vault, you know, sort of as this boutique stablecoin. But you know, my understanding is cvxUSD is an ERC20, and so you know, if another protocol did want to like, you know, pair it up with their own, and then basically you would have like you know, a stable LP, then that's also like accruing additional CVX on top of whatever their curve LP would have, or convex LP. So there's like, it's kind of like sort of like some interesting dynamics that are at play just because it can be utilized for that. So really cool possibilities with it, and very interesting to see how folks will adopt it. And it looks like it's been, you know, pretty popular so far, so which is great to see.
Yeah. I'm very impressed with the launch. We're already half the vault cap, basically.
Yeah,
that's crazy. In just a few hours.
$500,000 in an hour. That's not bad for a niche product, for a smaller, lower liquidity token compared to ETH or something like that. Yeah, it's pretty good.
In the most sleepy market, maybe since I don't know when.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's yeah, go for it, Kevin.
No, I was just going to say that. I mean, this is sort of like, I mean, ever since FX has launched, it's been sort of a kind of a sleepy market for sort of like, DeFi protocols, and so just slowly but surely, Aladdin and FX have been building towards sort of like preparing for like whenever that exogenous liquidity comes into the market, and and starts really sort of like amping things up. We're really sort of like laying a good foundational base to be prepared and be ready for this. So
Absolutely.
I think we're
love to
close
see.
to that with the ETH ETFs coming on in the next couple of days. That's I think we're close to that inflection point.
We can be very proud of this $62 million TVL
Right.
of ours, especially as you said, Kemet, how shy DeFi has been during this cycle. I mean, real DeFi, because some CDeFi stuff have been popular, but real DeFi has been mostly in the shadow. But we can be very proud of what we've already achieved, and I'm very confident the light will come to real DeFi again, and especially I can feel some kind of a revenue distribution narrative coming as well, and I think we made a good choice with the FX and tokenomics on that path.
Yeah, and as we kind of like talk about growth, just to kind of touch on it a little bit since we're here, ARUSD has been growing as well. I think now we're at almost $11.5 million, which has been fantastic to see that adoption. You've seen it on
Spectra.
get integrated into Spectra, right? Exactly, and so have their split.
Morpho as well.
Morpho too.
Morpho, yeah. I mean, it's been really cool to see Aladdin products, and FX as well, sort of start to like become like integrated into these other protocols. I mean, I think that's ultimately what you want, right? Is to create products that not just users want, but protocols want as well, to build on top of those, and really sort of like create that that constant demand for it. And so, man, kudos to the team.
Clever too, I mean, look at what's going on with xCVX and the utilization of Clever behind the scenes, and almost reaching one of the largest CVX holder there. So that's a locker. That's pretty impressive, in such a short period of time.
And how far are we from being the first CVX holder?
200,000 or 150,000 CVX, or maybe even a little less. Maybe we could show that a little less, maybe.
Yeah, let me pull it up here.
So basically, Clever plus FX makes Aladdin the biggest holder, right?
Yeah, actually, when you look at it from a staking point of view, yeah, kind of. Let me look at this. Let me see if I can get the number.
There you go. You're like 64,000.
Yep.
Awesome.
It's not a whole lot. Not a whole lot. That's a great accomplishment.
Coming up pretty quick. I tell you what, Clever's been a pretty fantastic protocol. I mean, it has just operated nonstop without a hitch since its launch 2 years ago. Been really cool to see it grow, and it looks like it's a lot of organic growth as well. And in terms of it's not like you're not seeing a lot of like CVX like flooding away from other projects or anything like that. So it's really good to see people just acknowledging the kind of the cool product that xCVX has been, that Asymmetry's built, and how that's kind of fueled adoption. So as you like you say, CryptoVestor, like things like lending as well are just going to kind of amplify that too. So
yep. That's probably next, to see some of these different strategies.
Yeah, I mean, I'm personally very excited about that.
Me too.
Personally very excited about that, but yeah, it's really good to see these things, to see Aladdin keep cruising along, to see the Curve ecosystem keep cruising along. I mean, it's definitely been some doldrums here.
Yeah.
And I think it's easy. I think it's easy to kind of like get distracted by other shiny things like the meme coins and you know, whatever else is like pumping, and you know, you just kind of get frustrated. You're just like, ah, gosh, I'm just going to stick with these boring fundamentals, and you're just like, hopefully one day it'll pay off, and I think it will.
Value investing. That's
Yeah.
where the Warren
What
Buffett.
what I really like is to witness the fact that choosing long-term view, it was a good play, and most of time is, and that's what actually attracted me to Aladdin DAO and its products in the first place. It's the long-term vision and no chilling and stuff like that, good values and so on, decentralization values and so on, and we've been discussing it internally, the values as well, and seeing that it's a good bet to be long term, it feels good. I mean, see how yeah.
Well,
I think
yeah, you know, it's interesting just with DeFi. Like, I think the ability for folks, the things that I find most appealing sort of about DeFi are basically the yields, right? I mean, we're a Eurodollar market, and so that's what created the Eurodollar market in the first place, that made it attractive for people to utilize these dollars offshore. Was the yields were so much better, you know, in the 50s and 60s and 70s and so on, and still today. And then, of course, the permissionless lending, I think, has always been sort of fantastic, you know, for folks to utilize. And, you know, I don't have to sell you guys on it, but once you use DeFi a few times, you're just like, I can't imagine like trying
putting
to do
money in the bank and trying to earn like, you know, 0.5% of interest. That's just
exactly.
It's like so dumb.
Exactly.
Even
Right.
5% in a bond, like it's just like, what? Who cares about that? It's.
I mean, yeah. Take something like ARUSD, right? I mean, like that's dollars earning dollars, and so, you know, it's currently earning, you know, over 12% APR. I mean, you'll never get that in a savings account ever, you know.
and try to get points in your bank.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's why there's going to be a shift, KMETs. There's going to be a shift soon when people really, you know, as interest rates come down, and I think they're likely to come down here soon. You're going to see people pouring back into DeFi to chase the yields again, and it's going to be a huge deal soon. I mean, it just makes sense. It's math. It's math, you know, and it's yield.
Yeah.
So it's only a matter of time.
And back to our cvxUSD, I think it's important to because I've been thinking again of what I was saying earlier, but since it's a product we basically delivered to the convex community, I think it's important for them who listen to us right now to understand how they can harness it for their own good, because I believe that CVX, convex community, is bullish on CVX, right? And they want CVX to pump. So the best way for them to harness this new BTC USD strategy is probably to attract stable liquidity to the protocol, and they can use the ref code to do it and earn by doing it. Basically, they can create a ref code. Maybe Kemet, you can show the referral account, show how they can create a ref code, and I will share. I wrote a whole article about the FX referral system. I will share it in the comments of this live stream, so that our viewers can follow the link. But they can basically create a ref code and refer users to swap from any stablecoin to cvxUSD, and by doing so, the people they refer will earn the yield, stay USD pegged, but the system will basically buy CVX and pump CVX in the backend. So that's just a win-win situation for CVX holders.
Yeah, I love
basically,
that. That's awesome.
Convex community just help people to untether, uncircle to cvxUSD, and the system will pump you CVX back.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically creating buy pressure on CVX every time more CVXUSD is being minted. So, you know,
exactly.
it's huge. And that's going to create that flywheel effect, and you're going to have less and less CVX in the curve pool. It's going to become less liquid, and then you're going to see price impact, and that's going to drive more leverage users. So this is going to be interesting in the next couple of, especially in the next 2 or 3 weeks when as the ETF rolls out. I think we're going to see a nice pump into that, and we're already seeing it. I think. I mean, we're already started. So, but this is an interesting product to watch, I think, from FX.
Yeah, I'll write a thread about this opportunity for Convex community tomorrow.
Yeah, it sounds like a really great opportunity, and I think we'll have a lot of folks want to take advantage of that. So
Yeah, imagine just driving stable liquidity is pumping your bags. What else?
Absolutely. I love the way you say it, Cyril. That's all.
It's very matter of fact. You don't get that with MSNBC or CNBC or anything like that.
No, you don't.
I love that about DeFi. It's very frank. We're very honest here.
Yeah, transparency.
That's exactly right. Yeah. Well, guys, let's see. Any more insights or any alpha with FX or Aladdin you guys want to share with folks while we're here?
Guys, I don't know if it's alpha, but we need to bring it up. Like, they're working on, like, those guys are working on some serious stuff in the back end right now with new versions of VEX tokens, fixed leverage. I mean, that's always been a topic on the table. I think they've cracked the code, and I think it's going to happen at some point in the next couple of weeks, months. So that's something to look out for. If we can do that, I think it's going to be really, really attractive for FX.
I think so, too.
Wow, yeah, that will be a huge unlock. Yeah, that
fixed
would be
leverage
cool.
up to 10x tokens. That's pretty interesting.
That sounds sexy to me.
Yeah.
And I can only imagine the yield it will, like the fees it will drive to both the stability pools and the VFXN. It's going to be just massive.
And I'll just say one more thing. 2 words. Liquidation break.
Oh, yeah.
Liquidation break. That's it.
Liquidation break. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, that's a pretty good alpha there. Yeah. I'll hand it to you, CryptoVestor. This is worth tuning in for. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, man. Guys, this has been very exciting. DeFi Advisor, what are you thinking, man?
I'm trying to digest, I should listen to the episode again to do a list of questions that I should ask CryptoVestor, you and Cyril in the next few weeks. But sounds like we have some content for some other episodes.
Oh yeah, there's going to be some content, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure too, because remember that Paul and I just came back from ETC last week, and we met.
I wanted to ask you about that as well.
Yeah. Why don't you give us some alpha from that? I mean, I know there's like 50 integrations we're going to be doing here soon.
Yeah, but I like to deliver information in due time. But there's definitely going to be some very interesting iterations, and some of the luckiest had the chance to grab one of these very rare T-shirts. We delivered like only 100 of them. The first FX protocol T-shirts ever made. If you're lucky, feel free to post a picture of you with the T-shirt on X, because it's probably a collector.
Yeah, I need to get one of those. I like the black too. That's pretty cool.
Maybe on secondary market now, because
secondary market they're on eBay now.
Yeah.
If Cyril wore it, it's worth more now. It's like when MJ wears it and stuff.
That's right.
If you buy it, I won't wash it.
That is really going to drive the value upward.
That's so good.
I heard you have a pretty decent amount of CVX CryptoVestor.
This is a whole new meaning to the word DeFi summer.
Yeah. That's funny. Do we have any questions from the audience or anything?
I think we've kind of gone over most of it. So let's see.
That's a question right there.
That's a very good question from Two-Fake. Yeah, that's a very good question. Can I answer it?
Sure. It says here, no curve liquidity for xCVX ? So go
And
ahead.
the answer is, by the magic of Aladdin and FX invariant, there's no need for xCVX liquidity
It's
because
tapped right into the pool.
xCVX is liquid by design.
Yeah.
You can mint it and redeem it at Oracle price again, ACVX, which can be minted from CVX at Oracle price as well. So basically, xCVX is as liquid as CVX itself.
It's
Using
basically
FX
utilizing the CVX ETH curve pool. So I think it
you don't need the CVX ETH curve pool for xCVX. It's just CVX into ACVX, ACVX into xCVX. Oh yeah, it uses
But it still uses the
price.
underlying
The price.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that
But
was my understanding, but maybe I'm
Yeah,
wrong.
yeah. It reads the price of CVX ETH pool,
Right.
but it doesn't rely on its liquidity, because
Doesn't be
when
right.
you go from CVX to xCVX, there's no price impact at all. There's just a minting fee, which is the way the protocol earns revenue, and the price to get that liquidation free leverage and without funding fee. But there's no price impact at all when you go from CVX to xCVX. If you go from a stablecoin to xCVX, then there's the regular price impact of buying CVX with the stablecoin, basically. Right?
The two stablecoins we have is USDC and USDT, right? Or I don't remember.
Correct. Yeah.
Basically, yeah. In the Zap, but if we get the pair routed by CowSwap, you could basically use any stablecoin.
Yeah. Yeah. Do we plan on having a CowSwap router for this? Like
maybe I'll try, but I'm not sure they'll see it as a priority. We'll see.
Right.
Yeah, it's sort of a boutique pool. Yeah, it's kind of one of those where you might just have to show up here at the front door and do it for now. But I mean, hey, it's so fantastic that I don't think folks are going to mind doing that. So
no, I don't think so.
Yeah, and we could probably get Paraswap, because it's just speaking of integration, the Paraswap routing is close to be live with the ARUSD. So users will basically be able to mint ARUSD from any token using Paraswap directly. And so now that we're closer to the team, and that we got this integration pretty almost live, I guess we could also build integrations for the rest of the tokens and the pools at some point. So using Paraswap is possible, and this Paraswap integration will unlock other interesting integrations for ARUSD, but it will come in due time.
Very cool.
Well, there you have it, everybody. cvxUSD, xCVX, they are live now on Protocol FX. So if you are bullish on CVX, there's your opportunity. If you want to just sit in stables and just earn some auto compounding staked CVX yields, I mean, there's your opportunity as well. So Protocol FX just rolling out more opportunities for folks to increase their ways to get exposure to the convex ecosystem. So very exciting. Go check it out, and share your referral codes and let everybody else know about it. So yeah, spread the word, gang, and we look forward to seeing you in the Discord. Any final thoughts, fellas?
No, I think we pretty much wrapped it up.
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Excellent. Well, thank you very much, everybody. And this is recorded, so feel free to watch it at your own leisure later on. Everybody have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you in the Discord.
Thank you.